Once again, the sound created by Maxime Godfrey uses simple analog waveforms to create an interesting dub bass sound. But this sound contains a few subtleties which make it more complex than it looks at first sight, and also make it quite interesting, not only technically but also from an artistic viewpoint. When you hear metallic or bell-like sounds like this one, it usually means you are using some frequency modulation. But here, Maxime used phase modulation instead. The effect is very similar, modulating phases or frequencies as harmonics to the sound. Listen. As you could hear, there is also this interesting opening in the sound after the initial attack. The envelope 2 is used to modulate both phase modulation and a low-pass filter at the same time to create that effect. On top of that, Max adds another trick to his creation. The second engine is used to modulate the engine 1, which is a pure sine wave. So we end up with a modulation of modulations. And it's a combination of the three elements, phase modulations, filter modulations, and engine cross modulation, which creates this great dub bass sound. Finally, the effects section is used to give the sound more fat, using distortion, multiband compression, and some equalization. As an option, you can even add yet another oscillator, namely a triangle signal in the utility engine. The modulation wheel is used to merely increase the volume of this oscillator, but it's also slightly modulating the filter mix knob to remove some of the filtering for this particular signal. It's also used to slightly decrease the volume using the FX-B bus when the third engine is utilized. Oh, I forgot to mention the use of combination functions to shape the volume of the two oscillators used in Engine 2 by using the macro 1 and 3. The remap feature in the combinate functions allow to modulate a given signal with a shape that can be anything you want. Here, the modulated signals merely are the macro 1 and 3 knob levels. And since oscillator 3 is set with a 2-octave offset relative to oscillator 2, you can clearly hear the higher pitch when you play with the macro knobs. Let's hear it again. A final comment. Originally, this sound preset was designed in legato mode, and since the envelope 2 modulation is used, legato mode allows you to play several overlapping notes with only one attack, like this. But if you set it in mono mode, attacks will be re-triggered on every note, even if they overlap. So, after all, this sound preset, which looked pretty basic at first sight, actually is pretty complex. And it's all the subtleties that Maxime Audefray used that make the difference compared to a truly simplistic sound.